Hi everybody, welcome to production vlog number 3 of Yllista Blood Rose of Osyra. Alright, I have to admit I didn't reach the goals that I set from last month, but I also realized that the scope was way larger than I anticipated. So I set the goal of blocking in the storyboards of the next scene as the priority, and that if I had time, I would do the schematics for the next few scenes over. Simple enough, right? I mean, like, you know, it doesn't seem like too difficult of a scope. I already did a couple schematics. No. I just did the storyboards. Oh, I didn't even finish the scene. Look, I'll get to why that is in a minute, but at first and foremost, let me show you what I was working on. Storyboards. Just storyboards. So what happens leading up to this point in the story? Boom! The original storyboards. You've probably seen this a bunch of times already in the previous logs. Yeah! Yllista successfully infiltrates the Treasury building and is now in the archive room while knocking out a few guards along the way. At this point, she is daunted by all the tall bookshelves and scroll shelves while she tries to orient herself and find any bit of information about surviving members of her clan. So what's happening now in the storyboards? Well, here's where the new batch of board block-ins pick up. Try saying that 10 times really quickly. She's in a hurry to collect as many relevant books and scrolls as she can get, since it's only a matter of time before guards discover the ones that she knocked out and come looking for her. She dumps everything on the center table and begins sifting through the documents. Early on, she realizes that a lot of the events that she lived through have been documented, but every instance of Osyra has been omitted or covered up. Growing frustrated and losing sight for why she was there in the first place, she begins frantically trying to confirm that Osyra hasn't been completely omitted. With every bit of new information that denies Osyra's existence, she soon loses her composure and swipes nearly everything off the table in anger. After calming down a bit, she notices that one of the toppled books landed facing open. She freezes in disbelief after noticing what was inscribed on the pages. The book reveals a page that has the sigil of Osyra as the header. So, some of you may be wondering at this point, where's the dialogue? Well, see, that is a very good question. There should be. I haven't revised the story beyond it being story notes and bullet notes still. Something I realize I need to work on in order for this whole thing to work properly. Great job on the planning. In any case, I wanted to talk about a few deliberate decisions I made regarding a few shots and some points on pacing, as well as the thought process in general behind this. I tried to keep in mind how Yllista and the camera would be placed within the setting, a la reference. The most important thing I wanted to focus on here was Yllista's reaction, since that is what carries the story at this point. So I had to make the decision to forego giving context to why she's frustrated with these specific events, and simply just show her being frustrated at everything about her clan being covered up. But I plan to show these bits of exposition later down the line in the story where it's a bit more relevant. So stay tuned for coming attractions. With that, I tried to keep the camera on close-ups to her face, and sometimes bust shots to capture her expressions as well as her body language. Another focus that I also wanted to capture were the nuances of her searching the books and scrolls in a thorough but hasty characterization. At this point, I asked a few peers of mine for some feedback on the boards. A few points came up where they noticed that the frames I drew were a little too granular, and less frames could have been drawn to tell the story more efficiently. In retrospect, it does seem a bit excessive, which is why a few frames were crossed out from the boards after considering which ones were not quite as relevant for the story. I still kind of ran into this issue again later down the line, but I'm starting to realize that I draw more along the lines of keyframes rather than story beats. Another problem that I came across along the way was that drawing in a relatively realistic style makes it very difficult to simplify and refine the shots efficiently. I know part of it is just practice and that I just have to keep doing it and get used to it and just be much more proficient with how I go about it, but I may also have to rethink the art style to simplify and just make the whole boarding process more streamlined. I don't know, boarding, it always takes a lot more work and critical thinking to hammer out all the frames, more so than I anticipated in the beginning, at the outset. I've been doing personal storyboards for years at this point, and it still gets me every time. Regardless, I can definitely see opportunities where I can work smarter versus harder in this, but I'll just figure that out as I go. So let's look at a super rough cut at how this sequence would pan out with some Good old-fashioned temp sounds. Yep. Thumbs be storyboards. So what are the goals for the next production vlog? Finish blocking in the rough storyboards for the rest of the scene. There is genuinely not much between now and the end of the scene, but I'm not going to underestimate it like I did last time. This will still be the priority. Again, if I have time, then I'll get to the schematics for the next scene over, but while I do that, I probably should get to reformatting the story into a proper script format. Dialogue! Finally! Instead of paraphrasing he said, she said in a wall of text. I am new to this whole production vlog thing, so there's gonna be a lot of trial and error, as you probably may have seen in the last few videos. I initially planned on postponing this production vlog update until I finished the storyboards, since that would be more complete and presentable to show. But I realized that kind of defeats the purpose of these production vlogs in the first place. I mean, this was meant to document my progress on the project as I worked on it. You know, emphasis on as I worked on it. So I figured I might as well just post whatever I have for this month and then continue on with it for the next production vlog, however incomplete it may be. I'm hopeful that as I'm putting out these videos more and more that I'll have a better idea of gauging the scope for each task and parsing everything out along the way. I mean, this is not even supposed to be a sprint. This whole thing, the production and the production vlogs are meant to be a slow burn. I do this on the off hours since I have a day job. I don't want to burn out just yet. It's only been 3 videos. But in any case, as always, please let me know of any suggestions on how I can improve on the project or even the production vlogs. I know this is a bit of a short one, but since I kind of just worked the bulk of my time on one task, it kind of ended up this way, but hopefully you guys liked it. With that, I will see you in the next update. Cheers.